And find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your blood.
Keep following the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Hey Zoe, I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
And so if you have ever dated someone who seemed like they were interested, but for some reason you're sort of left with this nagging doubt about how much they actually really dig you, or maybe they initiate just enough contact to be polite and sustain that connection, but not quite enough to trust the butterflies in your stomach, right? Or maybe they don't respond right away to your text messages, but they do eventually respond, and with a perfectly reasonable reply. Maybe they show you some physical affection, but they appear shy of going all the way. Or maybe you have gone all the way, but nothing else in the relationship seems to have changed as a result of it, or deepened as a result of it. And so maybe they make time for you once or twice a week, but you can't tell if that's because they're excited to see you, or they just don't have anything else going on and they find you companionable enough. Or maybe you're an open heart. And I would say open hearts especially would be confused by behavior like this, probably because they're used to stars and fireworks at the beginning of a relationship. But if you're convinced that, maybe at this time you are convinced that you want to slow down, and maybe you want to try this slow and steady approach to dating. And however, it is hard to know where you stand when you start trying that out, because it may feel to you like it's like lukewarm behavior. Right. And you might even wonder if this potential lover that you've been seeing has more of an avoidant attachment style, what I call a rolling stone. And maybe they're just afraid to commit, or they're just withholding their deeper feelings. And so if that sounds familiar to you, or you are familiar with this kind of dynamic, you're going to want to stick around for us during this video segment, because I'm going to highlight.
Man, oh man, a Shevitz. The voice of reason has returned with another slapper. Let me tell you something. I'm like Floyd Mayweather when it comes to this thing. You know, this relationship talk on radio. I'm like, boy, I get in that Philly shell. Did I do that right hand pull counter? Huh? You trying to hit me, but you hitting shoulder. I'm shoulder rolling, man. But as great as Floyd was, his work ethic, his team, Floyd would be in the ring 30 rounds. We going 30 rounds today, sparring. And in order to get the best out of him, he didn't spar with bums. He was sparring with champions. Zab Judah, get in here. I got to fight Pacquiao. I need to get this left hand together. I need to understand what this left hand action like. Get back in here. And I say all of that to say this. Man, Atala from Houston, Texas, man, she really has a feel for this topic thing. This is one of her topics. And I got to give her credit. Got to give credit where credit is due. Sometimes my mind is in the clouds. She'll be like, Unc, have you thought of this topic? I say, what say ye, youngling? What is this topic you speak of? And we will spar 30 minutes, which equals 30 rounds. And the next thing you know, I say, just send me 5 questions. I'll do the rest. And boom, we got a topic. Boy, tonight's topic. Self-avoidant. Now, we know about the attachment styles. We know about John Bowlby, Mary Ainsworth, and the many other clinicians that have added to their initial work on attachment theory. Attachment theory. Psychologists believe that, and it depends. Some psychologists believe you get your attachment style in vitro while you're in the womb. Depending on, what kind of environment the mother is in, whatever. Some psychologists believe you are born with no attachment style and it develops as the baby gets acclimated to its caregivers. Very interesting stuff. But what about self-avoidant? See, we're going to give you the clinical. We're going to give you the theoretical. We're going to give you the spiritual, the philosophical, the metaphysical. We're going to give it all. Because I don't believe one discipline has one answer. What about the self-avoidant? This deep right here. So, let's just go with DA and FA. We know there's AP, and then there's S. DA, dismissive avoidant. FA, fearful avoidant. Right? AP, anxious, preoccupied. And then S, secure. These are all attachment styles. But the attachment wounds that are associated to the insecure attachment styles. Yes, you heard it right. Only one attachment style is actually secure. The other 3 and the various versions of the other 3, right, under the umbrella of the other 3 are insecure attachment styles. The major question here tonight is, can the insecure attachment style that you modeled in childhood cause you to be self-avoidant? What is self-avoidant? Well, Carl Jung. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, in order to not look at themselves, in order to not face the internal pain and deep-seated issues and wounds. Carl Jung said that many years ago. Carl Jung, student of Freud, Sigmund, who probably is one of the most famous people in the realm of psychology, but really had nothing to do with psychology. Right? That's why, many of his ideas and concepts were thrown out. Fixation on, children and their sexual behavior. People was like, nah, we're cool, Freud. Sorry, I'm going to have to dismiss you from the practice. But I digress. Jung, who was a student of Freud, basically, in his work, was basically saying, we are afraid of ourselves. We're afraid to look in. We're okay wearing the mask. Mask, the Greek word, persona, personality. We will present as if we are something. We will present as if we are, in fact, our ideal self. But when we're looking at these insecure attachment styles, which I believe if there are more insecure attachment styles than there are securely attached people, then you're dealing with a lot of self-avoidant people. Tonight's topic: are anti-monogamous attitudes a ramification of self-avoidance? A deeper look at the dark side of self-introspection. Let me say it again. Are monogamous attitudes, anti-monogamous attitudes a ramification of self-avoidance? Please understand something. When you have an insecure attachment style, right? Heavy part about this. There's always this external chase to get something, to fill something that wasn't given to you. Now, in the case of the dismissive avoidant or the fearful avoidant, listen to what I'm about. This is going to blow your mind. Too much love hurts. Too much caring hurts. Dismissive avoidance, they were shut down. You don't get to feel any way you want to feel. You better keep some of them feelings to yourself. Or they had a parent that didn't know how to process their emotions and can only celebrate good emotions and not bad emotions. So when you're dealing with the DA, dismissive avoidant, that's a person who was shut down. Right? Anxious preoccupied, AP. Worthiness wound. The feeling of not being enough. Right? Fearful avoidance. They got both of them. They have both the dismissive avoidant and anxious preoccupied. This is why oftentimes they're considered disorganized attachment style. Wow. Why? Because in one moment I love you, in the next moment I can't love you. I don't have it in me to love you. But don't leave. Stay right there. But don't be too close. But give me a hug. I'm not trying to be... I'm just saying. So think deeply here. When they're given love, they recoil. The dismissive avoidant, too much love, too much attention, too much focus, because the dismissive avoidant was raised to be independent. Do it yourself. Heal yourself. Work on yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Fearful avoidant, gosh, the source of love in my life, the initial one, is also terrifying. And I have to go into this cave where I might get the loving caregiver or I might get the fire-breathing dragon. The last time I got the dragon and got burnt. That's the fearful avoidant. And you have to understand, the caveat here to the attachment theory is that you take the attachment style with you into adult relationships. Back to Carl Jung. Relationships are designed for you to reconcile the attachment style. Ooh, you say, Carl Jung didn't say that. No, he didn't. But if you read his work, you'll hear him say relationships, right? Or the subconscious is this repository of everything. You don't know anything about the subconscious because it's subconscious, right? But everything that is repressed and suppressed into the subconscious works its way back up to the conscious, out of the superego and id and into the ego for reconciliation in relationships as conflict. Whatever you push down is coming up in a fight in relationships. So think of it. Are anti-monogamous attitudes a ramification of self-avoidance? If relationships are a mirror that reflect you, you're going to stay away from relationships. You do not want to be in a relationship. because what did I say about relationships? They strip you nude, psychologically nude, spiritually nude, emotionally nude. If love is something you were conditioned, right? Like the Skinner box. Look up the Skinner box, right? If your initial form of love conditioned you to not trust love, right? To fear love in some way. Whenever somebody tries, have you ever been with somebody and they just didn't know how to be with a good person? Good person come in their life, try to pour into them. All of that's too much. Wait, no, I can't. They get triggered. Love is not safe. My first taste of it was not good. So they developed these, I could do it by myself. I can handle this myself. I don't need a relationship. I don't need anybody. I'm going to do this. I got it. Are anti-monogamous attitudes a ramification of self-avoidance, a deeper look at the dark side of self-introspection? If you are in a relationship and you are not self-reflective, self-introspective, do you know you have wasted the whole point of relating with someone else? Listen, when I come forward, I got questions. And I got callers. Let's get it!
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
KBLA Talk 1580 congratulates Tavis Smiley on receiving the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award from President Joseph R. Biden Jr. for a lifelong commitment to using his media and philanthropic platforms to help build a stronger nation. A host of Tavis's family, friends, colleagues, and luminaries, including LA Mayor Karen Bass, joined in the celebration. KBLA Talk 1580 wishes to thank the following partners for their support: the Weingart Foundation, Dr. Shikari Byerly, Rodrigo Byerly, and the team at Aviterus Public Opinion Research, Waters Tax Service, LA Councilmember Heather Hutt, the Empowerment Congress, Wallace and Renee Fortuné, the IQ Air Foundation, Dr. Kenneth Arduna and Central Neighborhood Christian Health Clinics, LA County Supervisor Holly Mitchell, LA County Supervisor Janice Hahn, Ambassador Michael A. Lawson, Ambassador Charles R. Stiff, and Attorney John E. Sweeney. Congratulations, Tavis, on your Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. Helping to broaden your political
And moral imagination
with our 2024 Climate Justice Campaign. We're KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the Amera I Can Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the Amera I Can program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The Amera I Can Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriICanCommunity.partners. That's AmeriICanCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
When I step up in the place, say yo, I step correct. Got you all in check. I got that head nod shit that make you break your neck. I got you all in check. And you know we come through to wreck the discotheque. I got you all in check. Throw your hands up in the air, don't ever disrespect. I got you all in check. Bust the rhymes up in the blazer. True indeed. Yes, I catch wreck and that's word on my seed. I'm guaranteed to give you what you need. One blood, everybody like Junior Reed. Wake up every morning, yo, I must succeed. Nationwide rockers make the world stampede. Yo, Willie, make we roll some good. Man, charge me, now I must proceed. Yo, we about to make moves.
Good Lord. Is it necessary to marry in life? What is the physical relationship between man and woman? I don't know. You ought to know. Huh? What a strange question this is, isn't it?
Come on, Krishnamurti.
Is it necessary to marry in life?
Is it necessary to marry in life? Let's hear it.
What do you say? If the speaker puts this question to you, what will you answer? Is it necessary, sirs and ladies, that I should marry? What would be your answer? Your answer probably would be, do what you want to do. Why bother me with it? It's up to you. But you see, the question is really much more complex than that. We all want companionship. We all want sexual relationship, a biological necessity. Or also we want somebody on whom we can rely, in whom we can find security, in whom there is a sense of comfort.
Come on, this hurts. I know he's old. I know he's mumbling a little. But the profundity of what he's saying is still there. You want security. I just told you. Most of the people you meet have an insecure attachment style. This is going to hurt. And I know people don't want me to frame it this way, but I'm going to do it. Whenever a wound is in charge, right, the connection won't be sincere. Whenever there is a deep-seated childhood womb in charge of you, spiritually, psychologically, you're in pursuit of safety, security, protection. You were born and modeled an insecure environment. So security becomes an expectation from an outside source. And when the wound is saying, we got to be safe, we got to be secure, your spirit is saying, hey, I have all the tools we need to be internally secure. You say, what do you mean internal security? Oh, not too much different than what Dr. Ramani speaks on when she says, hey, you can't set boundaries for a narcissist. Narcissists don't respect boundaries. She says what you're supposed to do is when a narcissist reveals themselves to you, you set internal boundaries for you. This is a line I'm not crossing again. This is something I won't offer again. I won't do this. She said internal boundaries. So guess what? Your spirit can provide the security you need once you tap into it. You got to listen. You got to understand something about spirituality. Spirituality was never about being in a damn temple or a church or a menzil arab or a masjid. It was never about just being in the building and fellowshipping. It was really about intrapersonal fellowshipping. What? Wait a minute. God is infinite. Yes. Where does God end and you begin? Is there a demarcation point? No, there isn't. So what the mystics understood, as above, so below, as above. There is a higher self to you that connects you to the one source of all that is, what is the term in Arabic? El Kulum, the all. In Hebrew, El Olum, the all. Right? Kulum, all. The source of everything. Right? West African belief system said, oh, that's your Ori. At the top of your crown that connects you to Oludumare. Yeah. So there's a higher you and a lower you. Oh, even Jesus said, for those who believe on me, I give you the power to do even greater things than I. Like, it's all connected. Do you see? But when the wound is in charge, the relationship is insincere, and thus insecure. When I come forward, you think I'm done with this setup? I'm not. Get to your phone lines, 1-800-920-1580. I want to know if you're avoiding yourself by opting out of relationships.
And you know we come through to wreck the discotheque. I got you all in check. Throw your hands up in the air and never disrespect. I got you all in check. How dare you never try to step on my suede shoes? Top gun shut down your firm like Tom Cruise. Please let me get down and blow a fuse. Acting fool, breaking shit down to molecules. Yo, let me get you with my ill street blues. Bust the rhymes, always headlines, the street news. Baby girl, don't be confused. Sell my 17s and enjoy my boat cruise. I know you really wanna know who's coming through, leaving bloodstains and residues.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. There's reportedly another investigation going on into New York City Mayor Eric Adams' administration. Sources tell the New York Times the Manhattan DA's office is looking into the city's real estate leasing deals with commercial properties. The Times reports that investigators have seized phones from 5 people, and the investigation possibly centers around bribery and money laundering crimes. Mayor Adams, who is black, is already fighting unrelated federal bribery and illegal campaign contribution charges. South suburban Dolton, Illinois Mayor Tiffany Henyard is suing several village trustees. She's asking a judge to declare Village Hall as the primary place for conducting village business. Henyard, who is black, also wants meetings not held at Village Hall since September 3rd to be voided, as well as any ordinances passed. Earlier this week, a majority of trustees, the village clerk, and the village administrator took part in a meeting at the Park District. All are named as defendants in the lawsuit. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Plumbing emergency? Rooter Hero Plumbing is your expert. Their licensed insured heroes use the latest tech with quality workmanship for unmatched satisfaction. Book your appointment directly at rooterhero.com.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcasts of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader.
Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to
scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the...
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, this is Les Brown. I want you to go to lesbrownpowertour.com. On October the 11th, 12th, and 13th, this weekend, we will be at the Airport Marriott, teaching people the techniques and strategies on how you can begin to live your dream right now. Many people have the ability to do more, but unfortunately, they're trying to open new doors with old keys. We're going to teach you how to monetize your brilliance with one of the speakers. We have a lady who was once a gas station cashier, and she's now a billionaire, and she's going to share her knowledge. I'm going to share with you how to tell your story, how to present yourself, and how you can earn millions of dollars with your wisdom and your experiences. October the 11th, 12th, and 13th, this weekend. Go to lesbrownpowertour.com. It's going to change your life. Spread the word. Go to lesbrownpowertour.com this weekend in LA at the Marriott at the airport. This is your moment. You have something special. You have greatness in you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Come on. Body snatcher, we funkadelic and I got ya. Hard enough that I could chew a whole back and forth to an avenue, to an off street and off block. To turn around and do the same damn thing to a soloist. Cut Reggie Noble's piss. I crushed the whole brain frame, cause you couldn't maintain the funk. They have it rap style for lunch, chump. Cause 92 I take a whole crew, give them a punch to the book, not all of them go too loose. I'll show you what type of stuff I'm on, you can't pump or slip it, because I was born with it. The Funkadelic devil hit you with the rap level of 10. The 1, 2, 3, you pen. I get action, so everybody jump with your rump. If you like the way the sound bump, pump it in your back trunk and let loose with the juice when I do rock. I'm too hot, some say I got more juice than Tupac, straight out of Jersey.
Understanding the diagnostic process for a personality disorder is difficult, but Dr. Ramani makes it simple. In this episode, she explains how the path to a diagnosis should and should not look, and walks through the 7 criteria used to diagnose avoidant personality disorder. All right, Dr. Ramani, what goes into diagnosing somebody with avoidant personality disorder?
You know, Kyle, as with all personality disorders, it's not just sort of like a quick and easy kind of a process. Many times when we come to the diagnosis of a personality disorder, it can require multiple interactions with a client to hear about how they're doing in various areas of their life, with their friendships, in their family, with a partner, at work or at school, because personality disorders tend to be pervasive. So if this is just somebody who doesn't want to do a sales talk, but they're doing well in those other areas, it takes time to get all that information. So at the core of it, in order to figure this out, we need a series of clinical interviews, or at least to start treatment with someone. If a person with avoidant personality disorder came into treatment, they may very, very well come into treatment because they feel lonely and they feel frustrated and not being able to connect to other people. That might be what brings them in. So when they're brought in with that kind of a presenting issue, we're going to think about a lot of things. Is this person socially anxious? Is this person depressed? What's going on here? And then we'll dig deeper, and once we see the pervasiveness of it, it might take us even a few weeks, maybe even a few months to land on this summit squarely. We'll also look at, for example, how do they perceive how other people view them? Is this more about being anxious, or is this really about feeling inadequate and that people will reject them? People who are socially anxious are just more reacting to the physiological reactions they're having at that time. And yeah, they do worry about, screwing up, if you will. But for the person who is experiencing avoidant personality disorder, it really is. It's the fear of rejection, the fear of criticism, the hypersensitivity. The themes are a little bit different. So it's a really nuanced kind of a path. And I have to tell you, I've worked with clients for maybe the first 6 weeks. I thought he's socially anxious, and about week 8 or 9, I'm like, no, this might actually be more pervasive than that. And it'll show me how much more severe and consistent it is. And then I might do a little bit more work once I realize it's avoidant personality on sort of unscrambling those fears and focusing on it more as a pervasive pattern than as an anxiety disorder.
I would imagine that most people come in for depression.
Depression is probably one of the primary leading causes of why people ever get into mental health treatment. But I have to tell you, there's also a lot of stuff of life that get people in. Relationship problems, dating problems, but a lot of it's relationship problems, and that's a lot of what brings people.
Listen, relationship is everything. You were in relationship when you were conceived. Right? The sperm cell and the egg, they come together. Then, wow, I'm something. But I'm in relationship to the person that's carrying me. And how she's carrying herself emotionally, psychologically, that affects me. And then when I come out of her, the environment we're in, yee. And if any of that stuff is not right, is broken in some way, we're already understanding we live in a holographic reality. Whole writing is what the word holographic means, right? Greek and Latin words, holos, whole, grapha, gramma, writing, whole writing, hologram, holograph. We live in a holographic reality. So your father could have generational curses and demons that are being passed down to you. Dr. Marielle Bouquet, her book talks about that as well. Going all the way back 256 generations, 256 generational scripts within 12 generations, excuse me. So all of this stuff is connected. So, back to Bowlby and the gang. We get to fearful avoidant and dismissive avoidant. Well, there's guilt and there's shame wounds. Fearful avoidant typically was in a traumatic or I would say abusive situation. Some type of abuse happened. And where there's abuse, there is also the propensity for self-blame. And where there is self-blame, there will be shame and guilt. These are wounds. And imagine you have a shame and a guilt wound from your primary caregiver, which is also the source of love. Can you see why the fearful avoidant would be on a pendulum swinging back and forth from safe to unsafe, from sure to unsure in a moment? The dismissive avoidant just got one side of it, which is, I'll do it myself. When I want to be celebrated by others, I'll just celebrate myself through my success. Oh, you want to celebrate me now? It's too late. Now I'm conditioned to not want that from you. You're smothering me now. Do you see? Anxious, preoccupied. I'll do it. Let me show you. I told you I was great at this. Can't you see? Do you see? And in all of that, something called cherophobia may manifest itself. Cherophobia, yes. Cherophobia is the fear of happiness or being happy, and is often associated with the inability to cope with the sense of loss at the breakdown of a relationship. Cherophobia. Listen, you got a lot of people who got broken up with. That it hurt them so bad, they say, you know, how many times you heard people say, I'm done with relationships. I can do bad all by myself. Cherophobia, the fear of happiness. Fearful avoidants feel it because it wasn't consistent in their household. In and out. And not only in and out, but hot and cold. Not only hot and cold, but nice and angry. Not only nice and angry, but loving and abusive. Do you see? That's why they call it disorganized attachment style. Cherophobia, the fear of happiness. A lesser known but significant psychological phenomenon that reflects how some individuals may sabotage their relationships to avoid emotional fulfillment. Krishnamurti, in his teachings on self-awareness, emphasized that true freedom comes from understanding oneself deeply, including the dark corners of the psyche where fear resides. Cherophobia can manifest as a form of self-sabotage in relationships where individuals subconsciously avoid happiness because they equate it with vulnerability. It all hurts. 1-800-920-1580. I want to talk to everybody tonight. We got callers on the line. I'm going to get you guys in right after we come forward. We still got a lot to talk about.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
To the 100 million people who owe the IRS money, this message is for you. We've helped tens of thousands of people close the door on their tax debt. So if you feel like you're stuck in a hole with IRS tax debt, then this is the easiest way to get a resolution quickly. To qualify for a no-pay or low-pay resolution, just call 687-246-9655 to get free from the IRS once and for all.
To keep your bank accounts, income, and assets secure, tax closure is your same-day cure.
Hey, LA residents, it's planting season and the perfect time to get shade trees growing around your home. LADWP and City Plants are giving every resident up to 7 free trees. That's right, 7 free trees delivered right to your door. Trees are great for the environment, help improve air quality, and can help you save on your bill when you use less air conditioning to stay cool indoors. Learn more at ladwp.com/free trees. That's ladwp.com/free trees.
Around here, we don't believe in victimhood. We believe in raising our voices, amplifying black voices in the climate conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Have you heard of the 50-30-20 rule? This can help you spend and save your money wisely. So, how does it work? Distribute your dollars into 3 buckets. 50% towards needs, 30% towards your wants, and 20% goes to savings. Use this tool to help your journey to financial success. Sponsored by JP Morgan Chase & Company.
This truck season, think about all the things you can do in a Chevy truck. You can You can even just... With impressive towing, incredible bed and tailgate functionality, and multiple powertrains, Chevy Silverado, the first ever Silverado EV, Colorado and Tahoe have what you need to get things done. When you want to do it all, Chevy's got you. It's Chevy truck season. Get 0% financing on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups when you finance with GM Financial. Chevrolet, together let's drive. 0% APR for 36 months. Monthly payment is $27.78 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 9.3%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 10/31/24.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Don't this hit make my people wanna jump? 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 Don't this hit make my people wanna act the fool? You better watch out. Hot shit be bringing the cops out. Come on, street soldiers is ringing them shots out.
Short circuit and blacking the blocks out. Now open up the garage and pull the drops out.
Hey, wait a minute. Is that Diddy?
Blue fox out.
Yeah. Hey, no Diddy.
And the blue rocks out. While until all of my crew knocks out. Come on,
get your ass up on the floor.
Throw your hands if you want some more.
Baby, wiggle your crotch out. And peep the way we be blowing them spots out.
Come on, look how we got them ready to act out. Girl, I'm ready to get the twist in your back out. Come on, drink yak.
Are humans designed to be monogamous?
I feel like anyone who's trying to disrupt relationships, I really admire that. I think that we have this one-size-fits-all toaster model of relationships where if you think about a toaster, you buy it at the store, you plug it in, you never expect it will get better. Why can't we think about relationships more like an iPhone where there's software and you can constantly be getting more apps and you can be deleting apps? How can you adapt and grow as the relationship adapts and grows? And so I would say I have lots of friends that are in ethical non-monogamy relationships who have found that this is something that they love to think about and talk about. And so I personally believe that there is a lot of space to explore different relationship structures.
Very interesting. We got callers that want to jump in. Are you self-avoidant? Is it something you learned how to be because you didn't get what you need when you were a child? We got callers on the line. Attila from Houston, Texas is our first caller. Attila, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Hello.
Hey.
Well, so I wanted to make a comment. So there's a reason why I titled this the way I did, not a ramification of what you call a fearful avoidance or dismissive, but self-avoidance. I think that's key because that's something that we can all be capable of, right?
Absolutely.
But I think the other side of that is unawareness. We are not aware of ourselves. So when you're moving in a relationship, it's like you said, the connection is not going to be, what did you say? It's not going to be genuine.
Right.
Secure. I would add to that,
sincere.
though.
Sincere. I said
it's not going to be sincere.
Yeah.
Right. So I would also add to that, though, and say, too, that, again, this kind of leans into our conversation from yesterday as well. That's where that laundry list of grievances come up. And so when you're not really self-aware, you can't really catch whether or not a person is genuinely into you for you, whether you're being love bombed or they just don't like you. And so a lot of this talk about, or I see this a lot in the psychology space, people sharing their stories about being with avoidance and things like that and the ways that relationships are handled. And I think a lot of that is due to us lacking self-awareness. Because if you had it, you might have recognized that that person wasn't really feeling you like that from the beginning. So some of this, I think there's, I don't want to say blame, but there's responsibility to be had on both sides.
100%.
Because if you are oversharing, overgiving, or just overdoing in a connection, and you're not self-aware enough to recognize that, again, the output that you're getting is not valued, that's on you. And so, that's why I say it's very interesting to watch people kind of go through these cycles of wanting genuine connection, monogamous connection, all the way to, well, I just think people should just be free. And it's like, perhaps they should just be unburdened by their responsibility in the relationship, is what you're really saying.
I love it. I love it. Attila from Houston, Texas. Guess what you just did, young lady?
I brought you in the building.
Hey, if you want to bring your city in the building, you know the deal. Get to your phone lines, 1-800-920-1580, non-judgmental space. Of course, anybody's opinion and perspective is welcome. We're not looking for you to agree. We're looking for you to contribute to the conversation. This is a dialogue and not a monologue, although I monologue for 45 minutes. Anyway, let's get these callers in here. Rogish Son from Dallas, Texas. Texas is in the house big right now. What up, Rogish? Talk to me.
Already. What it do, OG? Long time no hear, man.
Yes,
Respect.
sir. Yes, sir. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
First and foremost, from North Tulsa, but in Dallas, you feel me? But when it comes to the whole thing with so you're saying that people are using a person as a buffer within a relationship?
No, they're avoiding real, true
They're avoiding
connection.
themselves.
Yes, because when you connect with folk, that is perceived as the source of pain, right? So when you say pain, you say, what do you mean pain? Yeah, well, depending on what your attachment style may or may not be, we know that a third of them are insecure attachment styles. And relationships are a conduit to reveal yourself to you. So if you've been hiding behind a mask and getting somebody to date you based on the idea of yourself that you're projecting outward, when you guys start to get close, you might get irritated. Closeness might irritate you. Do you see?
I can see that. Now, let's say within a marriage.
Keep going. Same thing. Keep going.
So, like 10 years in the marriage, you actually start to merge. You know what I'm saying, with your compliment, and is not so much to where that person can even hide themselves from you, unless you can hide yourself from someone for 10 years. I don't know.
No, let's get deep. Yes, you can hide yourself for 10 years. Number two, just because people look at marriage as like the Super Bowl of relationships. But what you fail to realize is still a damn relationship. And whether you got a piece of paper and a ring and a ceremony or not, if you are deeply connected in a relationship with somebody, the same dynamics are at work. Now, oftentimes relationships will make the breakup more difficult. Why? The number one indicator, I'm going to explain. No, not the connection. The business. The number one indicator for poverty in America is divorce. And the number one indicator for wealth in America is marriage. See, marriage is, when you get married, it's like going to your tax preparer or your CPA or your business folk and you say, hey, I want to start a trust. A marriage is a business.
Okay.
Now, the marriage says, hey, we in business, family business together. We love each other to go in business together. We love each other so much, but guess what has to undergird the marriage? Number one, the relationship with yourself. And then number two, the relationship with the person you're about to go into relationship business with by getting married. Do you see?
No, I mean, but you also go in kind of blind because you gotta learn her too, her and her family. Shit.
Oh, hey, watch it. No cursing, brother. Now you can't curse on live.
Oh, my apologies.
But I'm just simply saying, marriage is a big step. Yes, it's a major commitment, and it's, hey, we're in family business together. We have these kids. I can't afford them. You divorce me. I got alimony. I got to take care of you and them still. It's a business. Do you understand?
Right.
So, but the relationship that's underneath the marriage is what will cause the marriage to last. It'll cause the bond to deepen. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying marriage doesn't matter. I'm saying marriage is the societal apparatus for the relationship. We married. What you talking about? My wife is in the hospital. I can go see her, whereas other people can't. Because do you see the business of it? Does that make sense?
Right. Could anti-monogamy be seen as anti-marriage, like what a lot of cats in the black manosphere is, rocking with?
Again, number one, when you talk about monogamy, right? What they're gonna flip back with is, we from Africa, and we had many wives all over we had wives. You got to say it. You got to stretch out that W. We had wives. You understand? When one wife asks why, I go to the other wife because she's annoying me. No, listen. Not every culture in Africa was monogamous.
Right.
Ooh. See, they don't want to talk about that. Now, are you talking about Africa that was conquered by Islam? Because Islam brought polygamy. Right? See, there's so many stories and narratives. There are monogamous people or tribes in Africa. There were. And then you got to ask them, did you go to Ancestry.com and find out which one you from? Or you just heard somebody on the internet say we was all polygamous. Now, figure what you do? Who are you? Do you see what I'm saying? So a lot of people, man, a lot of people get it conflated, right? Monogamy didn't exist until about 200 years ago. No, understand like in China, monogamy didn't exist until about 200 years ago, 150 years ago, right?
Okay.
This is real information right here. But the reality of it is, monogamy wasn't the sole way to be in a marriage. Do you see what I'm saying? Or, excuse me, polygamy wasn't the sole way to be in a marriage. A lot of people think that was the only way before monogamy came on the scene.
Like everybody get a harem, huh?
Hey, come on now. Listen, you know how many problems you have with one woman? Just one woman, man. One woman drive you all. Imagine you had 6 women. Hold tight, brother. When we come forward, I'm finished talking to my brother, son out of Dallas, Texas. We on fire tonight. This good.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. There's reportedly another investigation going on into New York City Mayor Eric Adams' administration. Sources tell the New York Times the Manhattan DA's office is looking into the city's real estate leasing deals with commercial properties. The Times reports that investigators have seized phones from 5 people, and the investigation possibly centers around bribery and money laundering crimes. Mayor Adams, who is black, is already fighting unrelated federal bribery and illegal